Well, hello, I am Kevin John, and welcome to this weekly ABC 10 Plus special where we will be previewing the high school football championships in the Sac-Joaquin Section. Now, we have big-time matchups on tap. Championship games for all 8 divisions will take place over 2 days, Friday and Saturday at Hughes Stadium at Sacramento City College. All right, let's get this thing started by going through the championship matchups in each division. All right, here are the matchups for Friday, November 28th. There will be 4 games on each day. The Calaveras Redhawks and the Linden Lions kick things off in the Division 7 game. The Casa Roble Rams will take on the Sutter Huskies in Division 5, which is our ABC 10 game of the week. Now in the Division 3 contest, the Wood Creek Timberwolves out of Roseville will take on the Oakdale Mustangs in the Division 3 game. And for the finale, Ryder Lions and the Folsom Bulldogs will take on Sierra Foothill League rival, the Oak Ridge Trojans out of El Dorado Hills. Now, Day 2 action begins with the Division 8 game between the Miraloma Matadors and the Forest Hill Wildfires. Then, the undefeated and defending state champion Sonora Wildcats will take on the Ripon Christian Knights in Division 6. The Roseville Tigers will face off against the East Union Lancers out of Manteca, who are coming off a huge upset over the 12 Bridges Raging Rhinos in Division 4. And to cap off the weekend, the St. Mary's Rams out of my hometown of Stockton will take on the Granite Bay Grizzlies in the Division 2 section title game. Now, as the kids would say, it will be lit at Sac City College this week. I think the kids still say that. Now, we'll take a closer look at one of those matchups. Here's our preview of Game of the Week. Happy Thanksgiving to you guys. And look, if you didn't get enough to eat today, no need to worry. I'm serving you up a nice platter of our ABC 10 Game of the Week. Now, we have our high school football section championships taking over Sac City College this weekend. And boy, do we have a banger in our Division 5 section championship game. Well, they say if you're practicing on Thanksgiving, you're doing something right.
Well, Thanksgiving now became my favorite holiday. It's always been my favorite holiday because I really like to eat. But these last 2 of the last 3 years, we've been practicing on Thanksgiving, and it's a good time.
The Casa Roble Rams and Sutter Huskies will go head-to-head in the Division 5 section title game on Friday.
I mean, it just means so much. It's just since last year we lost in a big game like this. So I'm just ready to go back out there and compete.
So just to be back there and not only playing the same team we lost to, and I'm pumped, super excited.
And for Casa Roble, this is their second appearance in the section title game in the last 3 years.
It's a special feeling to be back here with this team this year after what happened last year with us losing in the playoffs.
Both of these teams played each other earlier in the season on Halloween, and Casa walked away with a victory. And best believe Sutter has not forgotten about that.
It's amazing to have the opportunity again to get back and play them again, and we're gonna come out and execute. I'm excited. It's gonna be amazing.
Since it's Thanksgiving, I had to ask these guys what they're thankful for this year.
I'm thankful for my family and my support system that they provide me. I'm thankful for my teammates and my coaches that accepted me into this program.
First and foremost, I'm thankful for my family and my wife, Kathy Reynolds. She's just incredible, and to put up with this and all the time that it takes, year in and year out.
I'm definitely thankful for my family, my friends. There's the people I'm around every day. And I'm also thankful for my Lord and Savior.
My lady, of course, she's my rock. She's always there.
I'm thankful for my wife. My wife is the greatest human being I know. I'm thankful that I found her. She's a great mom. She's an even better wife, and I'm super thankful for her.
Oh, what an exciting matchup that looks to be. ABC 10 is looking forward to being out there Friday. All right, now it's time to look back at the best moments from the semifinals. Here's last week's highlights, starting with Grant and Oak Ridge.
Good evening, I'm Matt George. Welcome to the semifinals in the Sac-Joaquin Section High School Football Playoffs. Tonight's game of the week is in Division 1, the Grant Pacers and the Oak Ridge Trojans battling with a trip to the section championship game on the line. You talk about two absolutely iconic programs in the Sac-Joaquin section. Every time the Grant Pacers and Oak Ridge Trojans meet, something special is bound to happen. This game tonight was no different. Only one team can win and punch their ticket to the Division I section title game at Hughes Stadium next week. The question is, will it be Carl Reed's Pacers or Casey Taylor's Trojans? To all my football fans out there that love defense, this was the game for you. Opening drive for Grant, running back Malachi Laverne breaks loose for a big run, but the ball is poked out of his arms for a fumble. Senior captain Jason Womack falls on it for Oak Ridge, who has relied on their incredible defense to win them games all season long. But the Grant Pacer defense isn't a pushover either. Oak Ridge sophomore quarterback Luke Tabor takes a shot downfield, and Grant junior Malachi Harris comes flying in for the interception. See, defensive backs can moss people too. In the second half now, this time it's senior Des Duncan with the Pacer pick. This game was still scoreless well into the third quarter. But finally, the Trojans started moving the ball. Senior Tyler Andujar breaks out for a huge run, putting a team in the red zone for the first time in the game. And a few snaps later, Andujar finishes the job with the game's first touchdown. However, remember this moment, because senior kicker Kyle Boker missed his first PAT of the season to keep the Oak Ridge lead at just 6 points. That would prove costly. The Grant Pacers had no choice but to get their offense going, and going it got. After marching all the way down into the red zone, Gary Tia takes the direct snap and fights his way in for 6 to tie the game, followed by a successful PAT, and suddenly the Pacers have the lead with just 10 minutes remaining in the game. Now, you know, a game of this magnitude between these two programs had to have a little bit of drama. With less than 2 minutes remaining, the Trojans deep in Grant territory, the Pacers needed just one more stop on 4th down to essentially win the game, and they thought they got it. That is, until the chains came out to measure, and Oak Ridge was awarded the first down. As you can see, Grant head coach Carl Reed was not at all happy with the spot. And for good reason. That allowed Oak Ridge a new set of downs to get the ball just a little bit closer for Kyle Boker to have his shot at the ultimate redemption. After missing the PAT, with just 2 seconds to go, the game came down to the senior. From roughly 30 yards out, Boker stepped up, cool, calm, and collected, and buried the game winner to defeat Grant 9-7 and send the Trojans back to the section title game. After the celebrations, I caught up with the hero of the night and his head coach.
You know from the minute it left your foot it was in?
Yeah. I don't think many people know, but when you get contact as a kicker, you'll know if it's right down the middle, if it's short, or whatever. You kind of just know if you've been out there long enough.
Oh, he's awesome. Like I said, he's my TA at school too, so we're always talking. I got tremendous comment. I'll let him babysit my kids. You know what I'm saying? He's that good.
All right. Well, he's a good football player and a great babysitter. Thank you, Matt. We'll keep things going in Division I. Now, last week, the Folsom Bulldogs actually trailed at the end of the first quarter. But on Friday night, the Folsom Bulldogs came out and punched their competition in the mouth. We're heading to Folsom High School. The top-seeded Folsom Bulldogs hosting the 4th-seeded Monterey Trail Mustangs out of Elk Grove. We'll pick this one up early in the first quarter. Monterey Trail ball. Now, Caden Love throws a backwards pass. It's dropped in the backfield. That's a live ball, y'all. E.J. Coleman makes a wise decision, picks it up, and he's pushed out around the 5-yard line. Later on the drive, Folsom in the red zone. Ryder Lyons calls his own number. That's never a bad decision. Rock on with your bad self, Ryder. Folsom led 33-7 at the half. Now, I told you they came out and punched the opposition in the mouth. Give credit to Monterey Trail, though. They tried to hang in there. You see Nigel Flowers with the touchdown, but on this night, it was all Bulldogs. They go on to defeat Monterey Trail 54-14, which means this sets up a rematch of last year's Division I Section Championship, as Folsom will face Oak Ridge. Next, we are heading to Granite Bay High School. We have an all-SFL showdown as the number 2 seed Granite Bay Grizzlies welcome in the 6th-seeded Rockland Thunder. We'll pick this one up in the third quarter. Rockland ball, Reeve Sloan with the short pass to Connor Bow. And Connor, you may take a bow. He gets in for the touchdown. Now, later in the quarter, Rockland back in the red zone. Reeve Sloan hands it off to Jared Linder, who pushes his way in for the touchdown. But back comes Granite Bay. Isaiah Inne takes the handoff And just like people running to go see that new Wicked movie, NA is going to run that all the way to the house. Oh, he's so fun to watch run. Granite Bay would hang on to win this game, which means they punch their ticket to the section championship next weekend. Congratulations to the Grizzlies. Well, if you love offense, you're going to love this next one. Now listen to this. In last week's game, 12 Bridges put up 71 points. Only thing is, they're going against an opponent on this evening, the East Union Lancers, and they also know a thing or two about putting up a lot of points. We're heading to Lincoln. It's always a vibe on the campus of 12 Bridges High School. I guess it was Do-Si-Do theme on the night. Look at those cowboy hats. And you know what goes perfect with 12 Bridges football? The 12 Bridges Rib Cook-Off. Barbecue so good it'll make you want to scream hallelujah. Look at that tri-tip. If you're a vegetarian, look away. The Raging Rhinos hosting the mighty East Union Lancers at a Manteca. We'll pick this one up in the first quarter, East Union ball. And this guy, JP Abreu, is a magician. Because you don't see him right now, right? Where's he at? Oh, there he is. Now you see him. When he appears, he's racing 58 yards down the sideline for the East Union touchdown. Lancers would take a 13-7 lead at this time. They would later add to it. Now later in the first, Braden Kamara takes the handoff. And just like a teen running home on a Friday night to make curfew, Braden is going to run this all the way to the house. East Union will go up 21-7, but you know you can't hold a Raging Rhino down for long. Ensuing drive for 12 Bridges, Daniel Oamil Jr. takes the handoff, and watch Daniel's son wax on and wax off for a big gain. Now later on the drive, 12 Bridges quarterback Connor Frontiera, he's taking matters into his own hands. He can't find anybody to pass, so watch him turn into a running back here. Oh, so saucy with it. He refuses to go down. Sorry, I wasn't familiar with your game, Connor. Later on the drive, 12 Bridges in the red zone, and just give the ball to Chase Walidko. He's more dependable than Allstate. He gets in for the 12 Bridges touchdown. This game will be a shootout. In the end, East Union goes on to shock 12 Bridges, winning this one 61-55. Shout out to the Raging Rhinos on a wonderful season, and East Union will play the winner of this next game right here. Congrats to the Lancers. Now staying in Division 4, we had a good one over in Roseville as the Tigers welcome in one of the most resilient teams in the Sac-Joaquin Section, the Houston Huskies. We're heading to Roseville High School and welcome to the Tiger Cage. It gets feisty in there. The third-seeded Huskies making the 100-mile trip from Stanislaus County to Roseville to take on the number 2-seeded Tigers. We'll pick this one up in the third quarter. Houston ball, Hudson Baldwin going to the air. The ball is tipped, and it's picked off by Dylan Gates. The Tigers are in business. Now later in the quarter, Houston back on the attack, and it's deja vu. Baldwin going to the air, and it's picked off by Gates again. That Dylan Gates guy is a certified ball hawk. That sets up Roseville in great field position. Tigers in the red zone, and Mason Cesnara, he's going to throw a bullet to Kenny McClure for the touchdown right there. Roseville up 22-7, but you know the Huskies ain't going down without a foul. Check out this play right here. We got a little razzle-dazzle from Coach King. Bryce McDaniel gets the ball on the end around. He's going to toss it downfield, and watch Titus Beers leap up and grab it like it's the winning lottery ticket. Hot diddly ding. That was on 4 defenders, mind you. Now later on the drive, Baldwin is going to hit McDaniel on a short pass again. Now, McDaniel doing everything he can to get into the end zone, but Roseville forces the fumble and recovers. They say defense wins championships in Roseville, able to stave off Houston's explosive offense. Tigers win this one 23-15. They will face 12 Bridges next week in the Division 4 Section Championship. Congrats to Roseville on the victory. All right, we're going to keep this show going. I'm not tired yet. In Division 5, the top-seeded Casa Roble Rams have just been mollywopping the competition, and at this point, I'm not convinced anyone is a threat to them in that division. Well, I guess we're going to see if the Lathrop Spartans are up for the challenge. Lathrop making the 80-mile journey to Orangeville to face the Rams in their house. We'll pick this one up late in the second quarter. Lathrop QB Darian Rhino hands the ball off to the running back, but it's fumbled. And Casa's Eric Eaton picks it up, and Eaton is about to be eaten a touchdown as he takes us all the way back to the house. That was the first touchdown of the game. Casa would lead 7-0 at halftime to the third quarter now, and just like Sean Payton did in the Super Bowl, Lathrop kicks the onside to start the third, and they recover it. Now that would set up this touchdown run from Pablo Peña. We are now tied at 7. Now on the ensuing possession for Casa Roble, Jalen Barcinas takes the handoff, and just like people running to the Thanksgiving table next Thursday, Jalen is gonna run this all the way to the house. Casa Roble would go on to win this one 28-15. The Rams will face Sutter next weekend in the Division 5 Section Championships. Congratulations to Coach Horner and the Rams on an incredible victory out there. What an incredible week of games. We'll take another look at the championship matchups as the Sacramento Bees' Joe Davison joins me in the studio. As you can see, we have a special guest here in the studio. It is not just any special guest. This is a legendary guest that we have in here. We are talking the high school football Sac-Joaquin Section Championships, and it's only right that we bring someone into the studio who's been covering the Sac-Joaquin Section since 1989, which means he has a wealth of knowledge. Ladies and gentlemen, joining us from the Sacramento Bee, the one and only Joe Davison is here. Thanks for joining us tonight.
Kevin, always good to be here. I started the Bee pre-internet, and I was a 5-year-old prodigy.
Okay, so you were 5 when you...
It made you think, though.
Well, you know, I was going to say, they hired you as 5. How did you get your resume in there, man?
We pulled strings.
Okay.
You know the security guards, you get everything.
That is right.
Joke.
Security guards love Joe, by the way. And Joe loves security guards. You know who else loves Joe? All the fans throughout the Sac-Joaquin Section who watch high school football every night. Everyone loves the work that he does over there at the Sac Bee, which is why I decided to bring him on to talk about the section championships we have coming up this Friday and Saturday at Hughes Stadium. So, Joe, we're going to start in Division 6, go all the way up to Division 1. So in Division 6, we have Sonora Wildcats, the defending state champion, Sonora Wildcats, going against Ripon Christian out of the 209. Two teams who have had some big wins along the way to get here. I mean, obviously you have to have big wins to be playing for a section championship. But these are two teams that may be from smaller schools, but definitely still play big-time football.
Oh, all the small schools, Kevin. They play on a smaller stage, but it means just as much. And they're ecstatic to be at Hughes Stadium at Sacramento City College to play these games. There's dialogue and discussion on social media. It's not fair for the schools from the 209 to go up there. Yeah, it is. Then don't play. Then don't show up. But they want to be there, even if it's an early game. So Ripon Christian... does Ripon Christian have a shot against a 12-0 Sonora team? They just beat an unbeaten team. Ripon Christian with Coach Phil Grams, one of the great coaches, great personalities. He got the Gatorade bath after the game. They beat Liberty Ranch of Galt, so they're in the section final. Sonora impresses me over the decades, Kevin, because 30 years ago they were playing for Division II championships. And these are enrollment-based. Division I's the largest enrollment than Division II. So they're Division 6. They're still loaded. So community pride. Great program down there. All the pressure really is on Sonora. They're supposed to win this game. Defending state champ. Ripon Christian going in there just to have a good time.
All right, moving on up to Division 5. Another team that has just been steamrolling the competition. You have the top-seeded Casa Roble Rams out of Orangeville. And they'll be going against the Sutter Huskies, a team who they've actually seen already throughout this season. But these are two teams. Casa Roble was just playing for a section championship, 2 years ago?
And won it, yes.
Exactly. And Sutter, they know about playing deep into the postseason. What do you see between these two teams, and how have they impressed you the most?
More small school pride. Great coaches for both programs. Coach Reynolds at Sutter and Coach Horner at Casa Roble. Football matters at these small schools. They played in Week 10 for the Golden Empire League Championship at Sutter on natural grass. Just a fierce game. The winner was going to be the top seed in Division 5. Aiden Lopez gets blown up in the game. The quarterback, the star quarterback for Casa Roble. There's a helmet rolling. You're wondering if there's a head inside that helmet. It was the other team's helmet. He comes back and helps them win the game. And so he's gritty, he's talented, he's skilled. And so that's the passing element. And Sutter runs the ball.
Yeah.
And they have a national recruit named Troy Bowens, who's about 6'4", 240 pounds. Is that allowed at small schools? Yeah, it is.
Of course.
And it's very cool. So that's a terrific showdown. Coaches respect each other. Programs respect each other. Sometimes the best section championship games are the rematch games.
Next, we're going to go up to Division IV. We have Roseville going against East Union for the Division IV Blue Banner. You know, when you looked at the beginning of the season, you may have thought, okay, Roseville has a chance, Royal Bridges has a chance. But East Union, to me, is that one school that just kind of caught some momentum along the way. And the next thing you know, you look up and you're like, the Lancers are playing for a section title.
And good for them. They're the pride of Manteca. Manteca Buffaloes were the runaway favorite, really, in Division II, got beat. So they're no longer in Division II. Bracket, but East Union's there. They're from the Valley Oak League. You're battle tested in that league. It's top heavy, Manteca, Oakdale, Central Catholic. So they're ready. And Roseville's got great traditions. The school's more than 100 years old. They have a terrific,
it's almost as old as you, Joe.
That's exactly right. They have a terrific coach in Adam Ranking, and he loves this team. They've overcome injuries. They have some players. J.J. Young. Y-O-N-G. If you're a college recruiter, write this down. He's about 6'3", long, talented receiver, big-time player. And it's been years since Roseville's been in the finals. They don't take this for granted. They appreciate their school pride. So that should be a terrific game. Teddy Bruschi's an alum there, and Colton Miller's an alum there. So Roseville's still doing great work and well represented in Division IV.
Division III matchup between Wood Creek and Oakdale. Two teams who are talented on both sides of the ball, and I think we can be in for a good one there.
That's going to be a great game. And Wood Creek, you know, Stowers was with the program a few years ago as an assistant, so he knows the program. But it's different when you're the head coach. And great coaching family, great bounce-back season. They were in a section final, Wood Creek was a few years ago, and so they're right back. Great skilled players, balanced offense. They only one loss, that was the Intercom. Oakdale has been in a lot of section finals over the decades. That's one of the storied schools. And they have a guy named Wes Burford, and he's the section's all-time career rushing leader. Is that a big deal? Well, yeah, Ontario Smith of Grant in the late 90s had that record. And then it was Cam Scatterbo of Rio Linda fame, Sac State, Arizona State, NFL. And so now here's Wes Burford with a four-year starter, back-to-back 2,000-yard rushing seasons. You know he's going to get the ball. You can't stop him. And he's got like 7,200 yards. And he's got more games to go unless Wood Creek could stop it. That's the whole key. If Wood Creek could stop the run, easier said than done, then they have a shot.
I was about to say, so Wood Creek, if you're listening, stack the box, okay? Stack the box.
Put 15 guys out there in the line of scrimmage and deal with the flags later.
I know, right? Flags are overrated anyway.
That's right.
So, yeah, no, that should definitely be a good one in Division III action. We look forward to that. All right, we're down to our final two divisions. So we're going to go with Division II. You know, St. Mary's, you see this team going against the juggernaut, that's Manteca, undefeated. And in the last, few minutes of that game, they're able to come back and win. Just shows their resilience, but you got to do that against a very good and tough Granite Bay team who can run the ball down your throat.
That's exactly right. You know, in high school football, and you and I have talked about this over the years, Kevin, coaches really matter.
Yeah.
They matter in the college and the pros, but in high school, they're really influential. And these are two of the best coaches at section history. Tony Franks of St. Mary's, alum of the school, 200-game winner. Joe Catalico, Granite Bay, 200-game winner. He's coached for several places, done a great job at Granite Bay. And the running back that you're talking about is Isaiah Ene.
Yes.
The big shock of hair. He's relentless. He's a four-year starter. They call him their Pied Piper on campus. People gravitate to him. He's a good leader, good student. He's going to Sacramento State to play on scholarship. Big family contingent. This is fantastic. And St. Mary's played some great defense to beat an unbeaten Manteca team. And so you mentioned the SFL, that's the Sierra Foothill League. If you survive that league, then you're doing something. And Granite Bay was third place in the Sierra Foothill League behind Folsom and Oak Ridge, who, by the way, lead us into the next segment. See, I know how to do a little TV.
Great segue there. Look at that. Joe Davison, he's not just a print journalist, he's a broadcast journalist as well. Look at that. He may take my job. Who knows?
I'm working on it.
Well, we're halfway there, buddy. So, yes, like Joe said, of course, the SFL is the almighty league of Northern California. And the top two teams in the SFL and the Folsom Bulldogs and Oak Ridge Trojans will be meeting up in the Division I Section Championship game for the fourth straight year. Of course, this game will be highlighted by five-star quarterback Ryder Lyons of Folsom, the BYU commit. You've heard him, you've seen him all over the place. But Casey Taylor, how do you contain Folsom and that offense, the Ryder Lions, Jamison Powell, all of those guys who can do such incredible stuff?
And Casey Taylor is a longtime coach in this section. He's won a lot of section championships at Del Oro Capital Christian, and he's looking for his first at his alma mater up at Oak Ridge. There is a 19-year winning streak that Folsom has against Oak Ridge. That's 24 games, including the last several in section championship play, as you alluded to. So that's not on all these players, but it's just, it's hard to be a rivalry when both don't win. But if there's a program that's got the ability to close the gap on Folsom, it's up in El Dorado Hills, and they've got another shot. So they're right there where they want to be. They have a terrific kicker, Kyle Becker, wwho beat the Grant Pacers. We know how great the Grant Pacers are. He had a last-second final play, 31-yard field goal to win that game, 9-7. And you talked about Ryder Lions. Earlier this season, Folsom beat Oak Ridge, and Oak Ridge had the lead at halftime. But Ryder Lions was hobbling, had a bad ankle. He's back now. He rushed for several touchdowns last week. He had 5 total touchdowns in their semifinal win. Big route over Monterey Trail. So you got to deal with him as a runner, and he'll take direct snaps and just go right off guard or tackle. And so that's a load of a guy, 6'3", 230 pounds of football guy coming at you. And you mentioned the other skill players. And it's high school football. We don't know what's going to happen. The ball bounces strangely. I just know that all these games are going to be pretty good games. You have 4 games, section finals at Hugh Stadium on Friday, 4 more on Saturday. What about school? Well, school's out this week, baby, because of Thanksgiving. It's a great way to cap this wonderful section season. It's really cool, and we've seen these schools play teams from Fresno, play teams in the Bay Area.
Yeah.
Football's never been better around here. Even with all the new schools, it just gets better and better. And these championships they're all on display.
Absolutely. Well, Joe, you always get better and better yourself. You know, even since 1989, you get better every year. I don't know how you do it, but you do it. And we appreciate you, Joe. You're a true legend and gem in this community, and we just appreciate your coverage, your hard work, and showcasing these athletes day after day. I know they appreciate it. So.
I appreciate it. I appreciate you. And Kevin said he's going to do a weather segment one of these days. We'll see what he's got. We'll see what kind of energy he's got. I like his chances.
My forecast for that is a 0% chance that Kevin does weather, but you never know. I'll never say no.
I'll just say stay indoors where it's comfortable. Climate controlled, you're good.
I know my limits, and weather is one of them. But anyway, this man has no limits. He's Joe Davison. You can find his work on the Sacramento Bee. You can follow him on Twitter and all that other good stuff. Oh, there's no one better than Joe Davison to get us ready for the section championships. Cannot wait. 2 action-packed days at Sac City College. Now remember, you can watch us Friday night and Saturday night for highlights from the section championships. Now, of course, we'll also have highlights on ABC 10 Plus, our free 24/7 streaming app, where you can keep up to date with sports, news, and weather. I'm Kevin John. I will see you next time.